Well, today's rags are mainly full of Ant and his court case. So we'll start off with the Star. Ant's court shame. Record 86,000 drink drive fine. Victim cried, "I'm dying, mum." Future bleak for Star as Star begs, "Forgive me." He's an overpaid puppet. Simple as. So he got pissed at. I mean, 86,000, that's nothing. It's nothing. That's probably not even a week's wages to him. So that's absolutely irrelevant to him. And of course, with it, the Star of scum, we've got a semi-naked there, Maiden Molly. The Times. Plastic eating enzyme hailed as breakthrough in recycling. Well, I'm not interested in that at all. Not in the slightest. And do you know why? Because in Japan they have this device that you put your plastic into and it breaks it down into its basic element of oil. So we don't need it eating, we can recycle it back into useful stuff. But hey, no, don't want to know about that. You'll find that video on YouTube, by the way, if you look for it. Russia has hacked into millions of computers. Britain and US issue unprecedented warning. Okay, show me the evidence. Show me some evidence. What? You haven't got any? Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather. Rudd, sorry for appalling treatment of immigrants. It's about the government mind controllers, criminals, illegally deporting, I think it's mainly Africans way back when, but let's not forget World War II and that they illegally deported children off to, they didn't give a shit where, because they knew many of them were going to get raped and murdered and blown up bears. It's time for change, and we need to change it now. Daily Fail. A picture of self-pity, drink drive, Ant fined 86,000. That's just 4 days' wages. Oh, it's not even a week's wages. How's that supposed to be of some sort of thing? I mean, like, if you or I get any sort of drink drive, for instance, we'd get thousands of pounds, but that would be months' worth of wages to us, not even 4 days. Can we see that there's no justice? Fiasco that shames Britain. Windrush outrage. Rudd faces call to quit as she's forced to admit Caribbean migrants to Britain could have been kicked out by mistake. I'll read the comment there. Could the Home Office have made a more humiliating hash of dealing with the toxic row over the Windrush generations now? With the new chaos over wrongful deportations, the shambles is far from over, and that is a national disgrace. So Rudd needs to go. Sacked and kicked out as an MP. But that's not, doesn't happen in Parliament. What happens is, you do something wrong, you resign, you get sacked. But you carry on as an MP. You carry on getting your 70, 80, whatever £1,000 a year, plus expenses, plus everything bought and paid for you, so you don't have to actually fork any of your own money out. But hey, just saying it how it is. Guardian. May defends joining Syria strikes before Parliament had its say. Basically because, as a dictator, I don't have to come to Parliament and ask them if it's okay for me to do things. As a dictator, I just do it. And then I'll make up some bullshit story afterwards about how, oh, it had to be done and we didn't need the debate because it just had to be done. Because I'm a satanic, Luciferian, Rothschild puppet. Rudd tells MPs we were wrong over Windrush citizens. McParlin ban drink drive TV star told that he must pay 86k. 4 days wages. Nothing. Absolutely. I bet he gets that on interest per month or week even. He's worth something like 50 million, so that's like a drop in the ocean. You see the disparity between, because it's supposed to be, the way that the court supposedly finds out is whatever your income is for the month, it's worked out at a percentage of that. Well, if that's not even 4 days, they haven't worked it out very well, have they? But of course, in the British corrupt courts, money talks. Express. PM. Syria strikes were moral and legal. No, they weren't. They were illegal under international law. It was against the United Nations, that are just a waste of space anyway. We all know that. Rothschilds controlled bunch of muppets. But you broke the law, like Tony Blair did. Except you're both going to jail. May. Stop stint in an asylum first, probably Blair as well, and Cameron, and Brown, and then all the rest of the scumbags. Are your jeans making you sleep badly? No, I don't wear them when I get to bed. TV Ants record 86,000 drink drive fine. Shamefaced. I just want to say I'm truly sorry for what happened. I'm ashamed and mortified. High standards are expected of me. I let myself down. You're just an overpaid distraction. As we'll find out as we get to some serious papers now, it's now time for the scum. Antis fine record 86,000 for drink driving. Ashamed, mortified, star banned 20 months. Sorry I let you down. This is headlines. Nothing about the illegal attack on Syria by the treasonous government. Some bloke that does some TV shows because he got pissed because he fell out with his missus and smashed his car up. But you know, that's more important than exposing the paedophiles in Parliament. Much more important, that is. Mirror. Ants guilt. I've let myself down and I'm truly sorry. I'd like to apologise to everybody and I'm just thankful no one was seriously hurt. Star record 86,000 fine for drink drive crash. National disgrace. Shameful. May launches illegal attack on Syria. Oh. Inhuman and cruel persecution of Windrush Brits. May still thinks it's okay to bomb without MP's vote. Shoddy facelift to blame for all 71 Grenfell deaths. 160,000 nurses driven out of NHS by brutal Tory cuts. But hey, you know, it's not like it's the Tories as such. It's the puppet masters that control. Whether it's Tory, Labour, it doesn't matter. The same puppet masters are still controlling. So May still thinks it was okay to bomb without MP's vote. That is exactly what a dictator would do. We need to lock her in an asylum. She's a sociopath, a Satanist, a Luciferian. She's all that is bad in the world. And then we go after her controllers. In fact, we should be going after them first, but we'll get to them through this scumbag, and then she'll blab because she knows she's looking at the rest of her life, meaningless life in prison, after a long stay in an asylum, of course. Now, hidden in amongst this lot, shoddy facelift to blame for all 71 Grenfell deaths. 71, my arse. But the facelift was carried out by, you guessed it, the council. And they were cutting and cutting and cutting until they cut back so it was unsafe. So who's to blame for the hundreds of deaths? The council. Who backed them? The government. So we know where the problems are. We've got to sort them out now. 160,000 nurses driven out of NHS by brutal Tory cut. So nurses that actually wanted to do a job of looking after people have been driven out because they're paid so poorly by these scum that pay themselves 78, well, she gets over 150 grand a year, all expenses paid, all your dinners paid for, all your tea paid for, all your supper paid for, all your breakfast paid for, you go somewhere it's paid for, you get a taxi it's paid for, you buy a chocolate bar it's paid for, all paid for. Nurses? No, we'll destroy them. We'll give them such low pay they'll leave, because many of them are having to use food banks because of the government, and it doesn't matter which one's in. The same shit carries on regardless, because the puppets control what goes on, regardless of what face, whether it's evil satanic bitch or Corbyn or anyone else you like. It's the same shit carries on. You know it, I know it. Time to do something about it. Aye. Quality, concise, the future of independent journalism. I just read that because it makes me piss. It does, you know, it's absolute bullshit, but here you go. Right. May takes on her critics. Syria strike legally and morally right, except it was unlawful and immoral. Prostate cancer gene breakthrough offers hope of future treatment. Well, we wouldn't need any treatment if we were eating organic food and none of this chemical contraption of shit that you put force on the poor by putting the price of organic food up and the price of pesticide food down. Of course, you've got to go and buy the pesticides to spray on the poisons to spray on the food. And yet with the organic stuff, you just let nature take its course, and that costs more. Exactly how? Because you're having to buy the poison to spray on, and then, yeah, well, you know what? Don't get me started on that. Windrush scandal. We may have been deporting people in error. British government admits. Then they need sacking, every single one of them, and many of them need locking up in prison. Home Secretary suggests Theresa May's immigration changes are to blame for appalling treatment of Windrush children. You see that? You see that? How quickly Rudd. Whoa, it was May's fault. No, it's doing me. Hey, no, not me. Rudd apologises to long-term immigrants for Commonwealth who arrived 70 years ago and are now told they are illegally. Want to look younger? Stand back from the mirror. Because, you know, you'd be so blurred, but at a certain distance you go, oh yeah, look, I can't see any wrinkles now. Bullshit. The racism of Enoch Powell lives on 50 years later. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Your NHS personal budget explained. The glory of Antarctica that nobody is allowed to go near because there's stuff there we don't want you to see, including ancient hidden technology. But you'll have to find that out for yourself. Loads of info out there about that, by the way. The Telegraph. Sorry, Ant-handed record drink driving fine. Not even 4 days' wages. Windrush migrants granted apology. Rudd backs down as deportation row risks overshadowing Commonwealth meeting. Wetherspoon deletes itself from social media. Trainee lawyers lose points for visible briefs. Trump supporters hit back at Comey. Labour MPs side with May over Syria attack. Well, there's no surprise there. The majority of Labour MPs and councils are where the paedophilia is covered up and protected by the leaders and the CEOs of the councils. So that's not a surprise, because they'll be into the child trafficking that's been going off in Syria by the West. Metro. Ant in dock. Okay. I am not Trump's poodle. May Syria airstrike protect Britain? Oh, really? How? How can bombing somewhere the other side, or a bit further over that way of the earth, protect us? Because because it doesn't at all. You're a lying, satanic, Luciferian, evil bitch, treasonous cow. There's another Satanist. Barlow, I'll never quit, take that, because I'm a Satanist scumbag. Financial Times. Rudd apology to Windrush immigrants. US and UK block ZTE in latest move over China security fears. Merck immunotherapy trial boosts hopes for lung cancer survival rates. Well, there's so many ways to cure it. It just goes on and on. Trump Comey fight raises heat but sheds little light. Save yourself some money. Don't buy a paper.